The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Bethel Fire Alaska, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 37197. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting on the lower portion of the front bumper, you'll find two open-ended tow hooks on the passenger and driver side. There are dual air horns, one on the passenger and one on the driver side. Just inside that location on the passenger side is where you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker. Directly in the center, you'll find your mechanical siren on the face of the front bumper, and then the additional air horn located on the driver's side face of the front bumper. Moving up onto the bumper extension on the passenger side, you'll find a front inlet. More toward the center, you'll find a tubbed storage location, Velcro tie downs, and then also a swivel discharge in your front bumper located on the driver's side. Moving up onto the cab itself, you'll find on the outer edge a turn indicator marker light. Just inside that location, you'll find the headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. High beam is located on the inside of the bezel. Just up from that, forward-facing emergency warning lights. And then further up, just above the Bethel logo, is where you'll find your 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. Moving out to the outer edge of the A-pillar, it's where you'll find your mirror, housing a flat and convex mirror. And then up to the brow, you'll find 5 identification clearance lights. There are 2 forward-facing, slightly angled floodlights located on the brow also. And then up onto the roof, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Let's go ahead and take a look at some close-ups of the items that we just talked about. First, let's start with the front bumper area. We'll move around to the front storage location for your front hose load. And then we'll move up onto the top to that swivel discharge, which is foam capable. We've got a few images here of the vehicle, full side view on the driver's side, focusing in on the cab section. And then we'll focus in on the pump panel area, rear section of the body. Move around now to the rear portion of the apparatus, up onto the top of the hose bed where you'll find your hose bed dividers, around to the full view of the passenger side, into the body section, then into the midsection and front cab area. Let's go into some details now. We'll start first as we move into the front driver's space of the vehicle, starting inside the front cab area. Let's start first with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information are located here. Also a door lock and latch combination. And then just above that, a grab handle. And there are electric window controls for all 4 cab windows on the driver's side. As we move into the seat area, you'll find your battery voltage charger located on the seat pedestal, and you'll also find in the stepwell an air inlet. Let's move into about the right ankle of the operator, where you'll find this placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation. This also has the VIN number, fluid capacities for each component, fluid capacity, and also fluid type. As we move to the floor area, you'll find the mechanical siren foot pedal right next to your brake treadle and accelerator. Up to about the left knee, master battery switch, quarter turn, engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic port, ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, and regen inhibit switch. To the upper portion, just to the left of the steering column, your interaxle differential lock. As we move further to the right side, you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions for its operation from road to pump on the left side of the shift, and then also from pump to road. Just as a reminder for pump operations before leaving the cab, pump engaged and OK to pump must be illuminating for pump operations. Just to the right of this location, flat mirror and convex mirror controls. As we move to the dash area, starting on the very far left, you'll find your start and ignition switch. Just inside, you'll find an EM switch, which stands for Emergency Master. This will engage or disengage all emergency lights. Headlight control and panel rocker switch, which will brighten and dim lights within preview of the operator. To the right, OK to engage your high idle indicator and switch. Up to the panel, you'll find your transmission, oil, depth, and water temperature. Located on the right, you'll find the volts, fuel, front air, and rear air. Directly in the center, tachometer and speedometer. Diagnostic information regarding your vehicle will display above and also below the speedometer in the tally section. Let's move just to the right of the steering column. Just a quick view so we can get a reference point. We'll start now with some switches just above the panel area where you'll find the mirror heat and load manager. Just below this area, we're going to find engine brake on and off, setting switch for low, medium, and high for that engine brake, a differential lock on and off, it's a protected switch with an indicator indicating it's active, also off-road traction and front wheel lock. Moving down from this location, we'll find your pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release, the yellow diamond, and Allison transmission pad with a note to pump and drive. Some caution and warning placards are also located in this area, along with your push for windshield wiper fluid and rotate right to left for on and off for windshield wiper control. Heat, air conditioning, and defrost module. Moving just to the right on the same plane is where you'll find your unit radio. And then moving all the way to the very far right in the same plane, you'll also find the air horn, siren brake, and also 12-volt access via USB. Overhead, you'll find this yellow placard on the far left-hand side over the driver's space, indicating the height of the vehicle, 11 feet 11 inches, length 43 feet 1 inch, and a gross vehicle weight rating of 46,000 pounds. This also houses your 5-digit job number, 37197-01. As we move to the right, we do have some switch panels located here. We have the Emergency Master, roof light, front warning, side warning, high beam flash, and rear warning. When any of these switches have been activated, the light will illuminate, indicating the activation. Let's move just to the right to an additional switch panel where you'll find the front scene, driver scene, passenger scene, rear scene, and also a switch indicating the air horn / electric horn. This is a selector switch for which one you're selecting. As we move just to the right, siren control module and PA speaker system. You also have a display for your backup camera located at the ceiling level. Also within this vicinity, you're going to find this seatbelt information, red indicating someone is in the seat and not belted, green they're in the seat and belted. Also directly above that, you'll find a do not move your apparatus if this light's flashing, indicating you might have a compartment or door open. Just a quick shot to the very rear where we've got some adjustable shelves and also netting in this compartment on the rear cab wall. We're now to the exterior. This is directly behind the driver's seat. And also we have a shoreline inlet, auto eject 20 amp. As we move to the wheel, we have Goodyear tires, steel wheel, and also a visual sight gauge indicator in the very center. As we move to the rear, once again, affix the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, electric window control, and a grab handle. Let's take a look inside the cab area at the roof level where we have push on and off white or red lens lights, also your air conditioning unit, and 2 rear-facing SCBA seats. On a slight angle, you'll have some additional SCBA brackets located on the rear cab wall. At the forward section, you'll find your daily checks for oil and transmission. Lift and turn latch gains you access to that at the rear of the engine area. Let's go ahead and move exterior now to the pump panel area. We'll start at the very top where the red flap is located. This is going to be where you'll find your crosslays. And then right next to it, you'll find the booster line or red line. We have 2 crosslays here, crosslay 1 and 2. They're both foam capable. Also a warning placard indicating entanglement hazard. Be cautious when pulling those lines out. There could potentially be an entanglement hazard. Also a 2.5-inch crosslay, also foam capable. Let's take a look at the pump panel, starting at the very top with the blue module. This is your CAFS system control module. To the right, this is your foam system module, which is your Husky 12, and also a foam system indicator. Into the gray module is the master intake gauge and master discharge gauge. In between the two, test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. We do have some crosslays here. Front, crosslay 1, crosslay 2, and the 2.5, those are all CAF capable. And then also your deluge discharge. To the very far right, we have the driver rear discharge. Those two are not foam capable. As we move down, you'll find the CAF's information warning placard, and then also your Husky 12 foam system specifications and operating instructions. As we move down to the very bottom, you'll find the driver 1, passenger 2, driver 3, and passenger 4. These are also not foam capable and are 2.5-inch discharges. We have a gauge heater indicator. And then also as we move down, or slightly to the right, you'll find your pressure throttle governor located in the very top, and also an audible speaker. The outer edge of that bezel does rotate to increase or dampen sound. Also a switch panel in the gray for your panel lights, indicator for OK to pump. You'll also find a few more switches in this location, and then also your driver's side or driver rear and passenger rear discharge, once again not foam capable. Tank fill and recirculating line. As we move further to the right, you'll find a twist for your engine cooler. As we move all the way down to the very bottom, you'll find the real discharge, and then also a tank to pump. The blue is your water tank level indicator for full, 3/4, half, quarter, and red flash is empty for refill. And then also a push to prime, air prime with instructions for best practices, at least 1,000 RPMs when engaging the fire pump primer. Let's move down and stay on the pump panel area. We have the two 2.5-inch discharges. These are not foam capable. As we move to the right, you'll find a warning placard indicating pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. Also, your minimum operation maintenance schedule. We'll go over that in just a few moments. And also a warning placard indicating that only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after they received proper training. As we move down on the pump panel, you'll find the Pierce American Flag Eagle logo. This is your large diameter pump inlet. And then to the right, you'll find the pump drain. We do have a warning placard indicating when climbing on or off the vehicle, make sure that you face the vehicle when you're doing that. As we move down to the very bottom, you'll find your CAF's air outlet and then all of your color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Also to the right, the driver's side auxiliary inlet, which is a 2.5-inch female, locally controlled. Your watcher's placard indicating the type of pump that you have, which is 1,500 gallons. A warning placard indicating foam failure. Do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. Your foam function, this is the inlet, strainer, and also discharge. And then just below that is your manual pump shift, and we do have a caution label indicating that instructions. Let's move down to the very bottom. You'll find a pan door. On the back of that pan door, you'll find this label indicating foam function, horizontal for foam operations, and vertical for foam filling. It's currently in the horizontal position, which is for operation. As we move down just below the running board, you'll find the foam pump discharge drain and foam pump intake drain. Back to the watcher's placard indicating you have a capacity of 1,500 GPM. And let's take a look at that other placard indicating the 150, 200, and 250 test pressures. On the left is the associated GPM at that test pressure, and on the right the associated RPM with a governed speed while in pump mode 2130. Let's take a look at the body section. First compartment, where we'll find a roll-up compartment door, adjustable shelf. Let's take a look inside this compartment where Shoreline Power Outlet is located. Also, your Motorola unit radio is located here also. There is a command light which is located on the top of the cab area. That's his control module for it. And when plugged into Shoreline Power, this is your battery charge, which will maintain battery status. Moving now just in front of the rear axle is where you'll find the blue DEF fill location. I believe this is a 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. It is the blue cap. As we move in between the two tandem axles, you'll find locations for SCBA bottle storage. Let's take a quick look down at the axle area. Goodyear tires, steel wheel, and then we do have a tandem axle in the rear here. As we move to the very rear section, you'll find the silver, which is your diesel fuel, and it is ultra low sulfur diesel, once again silver cap. Let's move down to the compartment at the rear, where you'll find an adjustable shelf roll-up compartment door, and then also the two drop-down doors located just above the rear axles. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus, where you'll find your powered equipment rack. We have instructions for its operations to raise and also to lower, and also a danger placard indicating because of its movement. This is in the fully deployed mode, and you can also see that we have a rigid suction hose strapped to the very bottom section. We're now to the rear of the apparatus. There are 3 hose bed dividers at the top. We'll move down. We have a hose bed light switch and also a rear scene switch inside the cup area. Also a backup camera and also a LED water tank level indicator directly in the center. A tank fill. This is a 2.5-inch discharge direct tank fill. As we move to the back, we have your logo, and then to the right and left, these are your attachment points. We do request that you do direct pull on those. They do connect to the frame rail. Also a warning regarding fall hazard. Always face the vehicle while climbing onto it. We're now to the right side or passenger side, where you'll find the powered equipment rack for your ladder and the additional 10-foot rigid suction hose. As we move to the rear compartment, LED lighting, roll-up compartment door. Moving forward to the rear of the axle, you'll find SCBA bottle storage. In between the 2 axles, 2 SCBA bottle storage, 2 drop-down doors above the tandem axles, and then forward of the axle, an additional SCBA bottle storage location. Let's move forward to this location just in front of the rear axle, where I'd like to point out we have your exhaust located. Extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist during regen operations and regular operations. Please be cautious where you choose to park your vehicle for safety. As we move forward to this location to the next compartment, adjustable shelf, roller compartment door, LED lighting. And now we'll move into the pump panel area. Same configuration in the upper portion with access to your crosslays. Once again, crosslay 1, crosslay 2, and also the 2.5, all 3 foam capable, in addition with a warning placard regarding entanglement hazard. We have your strainer and then also your flow transmitter. Moving down, you'll find the Eagle, American flag, and also Pierce logo, large diameter passenger side inlet. This is your relief valve. That's the setting screw for that relief valve. We have a cab lift. There are instructions for its operations. Just as a reminder, because you do have a front suction, make sure that that is pointing forward when tilting the cab. Also, 2.5-inch discharges located on this side, and all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. As we move forward, you'll find the passenger side auxiliary inlet, and as you can see in this picture, there is additional blocking for cold weather package to surround your pump panel area. Also color code and labeled discharge drains. We're now to the portion where we have a full view of the cab area in the rear portion. Let's start with the rear section of the cab, a fixed door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch combination, electric window control, and a grab handle. Overhead are air conditioning and then also push on and off white or red lens lights. On the angle here, we have an SCBA storage location for an air pack. And as we look forward, 2 rear-facing seats along with the center section where you have your lift and turn latch to gain access to the rear portion of your engine for daily checks. As we move to the front axle, Goodyear tires, visual sight gauge indicator in the very center section of that axle. And now we'll move into the officer space or passenger area. Let's start first with the door panel. Safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, combination, electric window control, and a grab handle. In the center section, you'll also find 2 fans, one for the passenger and driver side at the ceiling level. And then also at the foot level, you'll find a mechanical siren foot pedal. On the A-pillar, you'll find the fill location for your windshield wiper fluid. Just a quick glance at the dash area, you'll find this red label indicating spare wiring behind it indicates the option and the wire type, and also termination. Let's take a quick look, full view of the apparatus, all compartments open. On the passenger side, let's go ahead and go up on the very top section at the rear where your hose bed is located. Also the fill location for your water tank. We do have a blue water label indicating here that this is the water tank. And then also we have hose bed dividers and a section cutting off here for the dunnage area where you'll find the tank A, which is the green foam area fill location. We do have a warning here not to mix different brands or consistencies of foam also. This is your red line or booster line, and then also the master stream up on top, and then just to the right of that is your CAF's compressor. We do have a manual rewind and a free tension spool knob located on the red line. And then just in front of that you can see the pipe coming up for your master stream device. On the opposite side you'll find the compressor for your CAF's system. As we move to the cab area, you'll find your light located in the front section, but also these placards indicating warning. This is a non-walking surface and therefore is slippery. General view here looking toward the rear of the apparatus. Hose bed dividers, there are 3 located here. They are all movable. Back to some pictures on the very front. This is your front inlet. There is also a front inlet air bleed and also drains located on the front and rear of the front axle. The next set of images are that of the chassis, pump, undercarriage, and then back into the engine area. These are going to be short and we'll go through these really fast. First we have the attachment point. This is not intended for towing. The next location for an attachment point is intended for towing. That's just to the rear, painted in black. As we move to the tilting of the cab area, it's important that you utilize the safety bar and put this into position once the cab is fully raised. Just as a reminder, do not lower the cab onto the safety bar. Maintain equal pressure on both right and left cylinders. This is your recovery at the very top section for your radiator. We're looking at the transmission now, and then we'll look at the rear section of the cab where you have some additional access panels. Battery storage location here. Also to the rear of that you'll find at the bottom is where you'll find your jumper studs, and then also reservoir for your hydraulic cylinders to tilt the cab. As we move down to the under section, we'll move through those. You'll find that your pump is fully enclosed and protected against the climate. Folding wheel chocks located in front of and rear of the axle. From this point going forward, there'll be no additional audio. Congratulations, Bethel Fire Alaska, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 37197. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.